Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for being so patient. We are only 5 minutes late today because someone finally let me have enough time not to scramble and put all the slides in, so we are completely ready to go for once.
Apparently, I can't type and talk at the same time. I was typing to annoy Maggie. So I
Okay,
apologize.
but can you walk and chew bubblegum at the same time?
Yes,
That's the real question.
yes. Let's see if I can open my liquid death can this time without it falling into the can like
What?
yesterday. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with Maggie and uh, I opened my liquid death can,
Uh-huh.
but my lid, because I have a lid cutter,
Yeah.
which I'll tell you, most unnecessary purchase I've ever made. Love it though. I need it. Like I hate I absolutely freaking hate um like cans.
Yeah.
I did it.
Proud of you.
I did it.
Proud of
Shut
you.
up.
You good?
I'm great. Peachy. Actually, I'm
Oh.
green tea, but perfect. And.
And oh, shameless plug, everyone.
In
I would
my
do the
own
same.
horror koozie.
When are you gonna send me one? I used them wrong anyway, but when are you gonna send
Oh, I
me one?
like the green tea one. That's good. This is my new like Blameless slug. Blameless slug. I'm gonna since we're waiting for 7:30 because we open it at 7:15 so everybody has time to come and truck in.
Mhm.
Um we're gonna shameless plug right now.
Yes.
Um Maggie has a book coming out in September.
Yes, and it is so good.
Girls from the Wild.
Go pre-order it
Trina.
wherever
Go
you
pre
pre-order
If
books.
you have an e-reader, it is 99 cents on Kindle. I okay, y'all know. Um, I'm gonna like go to my bookcase. Y'all know, little slug babysitter over there on on the gram. Y'all know, Treehouse Trash Can Bug Bite. Her novel last year was in my top 10 of books. Okay, y'all know this was in my top 10. All right, you can all if you can't wait for September and you need something good to read, this is great. Um, and I bring this up because if you enjoyed like the Gravity Falls, Summer Ween, Grady Hendrix
Vibe.
aspects and vibes that this book had to serve,
Mhm.
I feel like Maggie is such a great like recommendation. And Mandy, yeah, Mandy's read it too. Mandy's read it too. And she'll confirm with us. She'll confirm with us. She's read Trash Can Bug Bite, and she's read Girls from the Wild. Um, it's good. They're good. This was in my top 10 of last year, and I read uh, Girls from the Wild over the weekend. It's so good, guys. It is.
Yeah, you absolutely devoured them. They are really, really great. I am still working my way through Girls from the Wild. I am taking my sweet time because it is keeping me company while I am in my house by myself.
It is. It is definitely Brie has Crash Can Truck Trike. Absolutely, that's it. Um, I will say, I was talking to somebody earlier today because we were having a discussion about how um, she had sent me the you know how Chuck Tingle makes his own memes. Um, and he did one where it was like going to the book club meeting, getting ready to recommend like the whatever the Space Raptor sex book is, and it's the Gambit gif, right? And it's like, "Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here." And and she sent it to me, and I was like, "You don't even know how accurate it is, though, because once you read it, like there's either two ways you fall into the Tingleverse. You either fall into it like on that side, or you fall into it on like Camp Damascus, bury your gays, and then you're like, hold on." And then you read the other side of the Tingleverse, like the Tinglerotica, and then you're like, thinking it's a joke, but then you're like, wait, this is actually really good. And then you find out that like the Tingleverse runs deep, like
Yes.
deep, deep.
Yes.
And you're just like, all right, let's go.
Whenever he
She
comes back to
recommended it.
Texas again, I will be so excited.
Oh yeah. And
I
so
refuse to go to the other side of my state to see
fair.
Chuck.
That's fair. But she sends me this, right? And we had this whole conversation about how let people like things because um we just think it's really funny that like that's taboo, like to be like
Ah,
recommending a sex but space raptor book in a book club. I'm like, it's a book club, just let people like things, right?
right?
And I never read a Tingler. Can the next book for the crypt?
Oh, little did
Hold
you
on,
know.
guys. Let me introduce you all
To the classics.
to the classics. Can I introduce you in 7 literary tales of the Tingleverse?
Or we could just plug straight. We could all read straight. That's fine.
Yeah, but straight is more along the lines of like Camp Damascus and Bury Your Gates, which also interconnects.
But it's a novella. That's why I'm like,
It is a novella. It is
it's
a novella.
short,
It is very
bite
good.
size.
It is very good. But if you're looking for some Tingle erotica, I mean, it's
That is not a
good.
bad place to start. Tales you're already
It is
familiar
not.
with a great twist.
And I'll tell you, Pounded by the Classics is excellent. If you've read Bury Your Gaze and you need more to like start with in your journey, highly recommend I Have No Butt and I Must Pound.
Yes.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend. I cannot speak highly enough about it. But anyways, so this sparks the conversation through to let people like things, right? And I was like, yeah. And this goes like how this ends up being about Maggie is because I was like, do you remember being in middle school? And this is going to be so. I feel like the divide is about to hit real early in the chat. Do you remember being in middle school and getting so bullied when you found like flowers in the attic, or when you found like Elizabeth Chandler books and Kissed by an Angel, or when you found like your real early like taboo like your real early taboo dissent literature, which is what sent you into whatever niche that probably wound you up in horror, let's be really honest. And let's be real, you're probably now a Come Closer girly, you're probably a Bunny, Mona Awad, you're probably like reading things like Girls from the Wild.
I'm an outlier.
No.
I was literally bullied for reading literally anything because people did not like me.
You have a book? Ew. Don't you know?
I strictly remember like bringing my copy of Beastly. Well, it was your copy really, but it
My
had like
copy.
a broken spine. You could not read the title on the hardcover at all. It made the perfect yes, this is going to be my comfort book until people stop bullying me.
I just want everyone to know I did not give her the book in that condition.
No.
That was the book that made me be like, excuse me, I'm not loaning any of my books to you ever again.
Okay, it also didn't.
Because I loved that book.
I will buy you a new copy if you want a new copy. I will literally buy you a new copy. It is
I think I'm well beyond my Diesel years. I think it's okay.
Okay. I mean, I still have like my Alex Flynn favorites. So
I mean, I still think they're great, but I'm like, I think I'm okay. I think I could live.
But like, I was horribly bullied. That book was a godsend, and I read it so many times solely because no one could tell what I was reading.
Absolutely rip the movies that were victims of the
early 2010 adaptations that were not good.
Teen adaptation /
Hey, Kaylee.
Is it
We have a
7:30?
friend. Yeah.
We have a friend? Oh
Yeah,
my
we
gosh,
have a friend.
pull up the slides.
Pull up the
It's
slides before
7:30.
friend or friend with slides? Direction.
Pull up the slides before friend.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome everybody. It's 7:30 to the double feature Creature Crypt. We are presenting tonight. I have to take my fancy book thing off.
Okay.
Sorry. We are presenting
Edenville.
Woohoo! By Sam Rebeline.
You can tell who's more excited about this one, for sure.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited. This book was so much like a lit. I mean, it was an English major's like. It was a love letter to definitely like for English lovers. Like it was a love letter. So, without further ado, let's bring in our friend Sam.
Oh my gosh! Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Hi. Yeah, we can hear you really good. Can you hear us?
Oh, fun. Super clearly.
Yay!
Yay!
So welcome. First and foremost, thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for choosing this book in the first place. It's been really fun lurking a little bit in the Discord too to see some people's reactions. Is always super fun. So this has been a great treat for me. Kaylee has texted me the entire time, like throughout reading this entire book, has sent me messages about how much of a good time she's had. And please be the opposite of sorry, because it's really been a lot of fun, and it really is a love letter to English majors. I was an English major, obviously, and my dad was a professor of economics, so not English, but still grew up around colleges and schools. And so this is a love letter to teachers and schools in many ways. So I'm glad you feel like that's in there, because it certainly is.
And I knew right off the bat this was going to be either a book that I absolutely loved, or I was going to end up having to Fahrenheit 451 this bitch, because instantaneously when you start with a Holden Caulfield quote, that is my litmus test for people.
Okay.
I'm like, what kind of person are you? And you like went hard. You were like, we're starting with Holden. And I was like, that's my boy.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's my boy.
And Holden is so okay. What's that?
I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's just such a, I think, misunderstood character, much maligned among like 16-year-olds. And that's a great litmus test, honestly, because that really only goes one of two ways. Like, people either love that book or like, this is the stupidest bullshit. And I'm like, tell me you misunderstood that he's just like a 16-year-old boy with ADHD and forgot all the stuff on the school train and doesn't understand how to talk to people and is just trapped in his own thoughts. Oh, I was like, just tell me. Just tell me you just don't understand deeply
how
traumatized
to talk to people.
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay. It's okay. So you don't get it. It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's cool. Like, it's all right.
Yeah.
We get it. It's fine. So every time I see that, I'm like, how are we going? And so I was really excited when in the quote that you picked too, you can't trust anybody in a school.
Yeah. I wish I could remember offhand what part of the book that's from. I like to think it's when he's leaving the school and he's just like, I just don't like this
Well,
book,
and I was
you
thinking
know?
about it too. Because I was like going through because I was gonna try to like put them in the book today, but it just didn't end up happening. I like printed out fun fact for all of you who have Kindles. You can export your highlights and your notes. Just a fun fact. You could print them out as long as your publisher is like, yeah, that doesn't exceed our limit. That's fine. You could print them out. And if you're like me, that's obnoxious. So yeah, my printer was working and I printed it out and I was thinking about it too. And I was like, is it from when he like leaves his professor's house? Is it when
Oh
he leaves
gosh.
the school? And I was like, either
Yeah.
way, anywhere in that book, like if he leaves the friend, if he leaves the school, if he leaves the professor's house, all of it would line up so well at
Yeah.
any point in this book. At any point in this book. And I was just like, chef kiss. Chef kiss.
Oh,
So
nice.
I was like, I love it so much. Love it so much. But we had some lovely, lovely, lovely questions for you. Let's see here. I'm like scrolling down real quick. We have an agenda this time, guys. We're very on it today.
It's also
We're
like a
going.
color coordinated agenda. Like for people who can't see it, it's like not just any agenda.
I will make it
We're
available for anyone who wants to see it afterward. I'll put it in the Discord if you guys are interested. It's like the agenda we used to do ages ago.
Oh yeah, back when we were doing the Return and Sisters of the Lost Nation and the Beast You Are days. Oh yeah, this is welcome to 1 year of the Crypt, guys.
Make a comeback.
We're going back to good habits. So we have all right, some Sam-centered specific questions before we get into the grit of the book. We have the playlist. I hope you guys took the time to listen to the playlist. I know we posted it a good couple of times between the Instagram and the Discord and a couple of other places. Sometimes I would just harass some of our homies in the Discord, and I was like, "Did you listen to this yet?" So I hope some of you guys got to listen. How did the playlist happen? Was it like a Mel Brooksian thing? Were you like, I want to write a book where there is a Tom Jones car chase, and you just based a book around a Tom Jones car chase, or was this something where you had scenes that you kind of wanted to come to fruition, and as you were just kind of like on a walk one day, you were like, "Ooh, this would fit the vibe"?
You know, I have been rewatching the show The Leftovers. I don't know if anyone here has watched that. I think it's so brilliant, and rewatching it makes me realize that the way I think about stories is very much sort of episodic and TV based, and so I'll figure out a lot about characters and emotional beats by thinking about the ways that they're introduced over the course of episodes. You know, like I have in my head that if this were a show, there'd be a whole episode just about Clarity's story, you know, and so what's the song that we get to meet her to in that episode? And it just Agnes Obel is the one, you know. And so there are a lot of moments like that. Like as soon as I had the image of Quinn working at the bar to such great heights, that was like, I understood where she was emotionally. And so the playlist just kind of comes together. It's moments like that, which I feel like help me understand the flow of the book more. Once I can kind of understand characters through music, then I get the emotional beats that they're feeling throughout the entire story. And so like, I'll spend weeks tinkering with and fussing over a playlist that I will then listen to for like the full year that I'm working on a major project over and over again. So like the novel I've been working on this last year takes place partially in 2009. And so it's like 2009 emo vibe. And so like figuring out some of that for the characters, like which MCR songs are they really into this day, and which why can't I think of the band name? Transatlanticism, you know, like once I see the character listening to that album. And so yeah, it's just an easy way to do a lot of different things at once for me to make a playlist. You figure out a lot about the characters, and then you also figure out a lot of the outline of the thing, you know, and just get a sense for the vibe. And so I think Tom Jones just felt like the perfect vibe for this world. It's sort of crunchy and grinding. He's got a sense of humor, and he's always the stories that he tells through his songs always like he's got this twinkle in his eye, you know, like he's telling these sort of horrible stories about death and you know, murder and whatnot, but there's always a bit of a sense of humor to it. And so I felt like that just was Renfield County. You know, it's this weird sort of otherworldly place that you can't trust, but that you can have fun with a bit. So I don't know. That's my like very broad answer. I have a playlist for everything that I write. So this was just one of those sort of processes.
Okay. Oh, and of course, I knew Maggie would know. Transatlanticism is Death Cab for Cutie.
Yes, I could see the album cover, and then I couldn't think of the dude's thing. So thank you.
I was like, there it is. Yeah, and Mandy says Tom Jones just made it way creepier. Jesus.
I'm so glad.
I absolutely love the fact that Tom Jones was worked in so much, because there was just times where I had to pause listening to the audiobook, and I'm like, all I can think about is Tom Jones being in Mars Attacks. That's all I could think about.
Yes, I love that gif of him at the end with the animals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
And then we have, who is your personal favorite character, and who, if it's not the same, is your most relatable character?
Well, Slitter was my favorite to write by far. I kind of can't believe that I got away with something so weird in this book.
Who doesn't want to be a cult leader? Like, that's to a bunch of like little old grannies. Like, who would?
Yeah, I know. I love like I just love a villain that is sort of complex and fun. You know, villains are like the best part of anything. They always have the coolest lightsabers. They always have the fun bits. You know, like I just rewatched recently. Like I always try to go back regularly to stuff that meant something to me as a kid. So I rewatched recently Men in Black, and just the oh my god. Edgar is an incredible character. So much fun. And so anytime I get to write a character like that, it's the most fun thing. So Slitter really, and like when he has some line where he's like, oh, the husks keep me alive, and then he chokes. Like that's really my sense of humor. And I felt like once I had the socket licking scene, once I thought of that, I felt like I had a book that would appeal to like really diehard, gross horror fans, you know. So he was my favorite to write. Quinn is certainly the one that I relate to the most. She like I think one of the big emotional struggles of the book is heart versus mind, you know, and she is all about following her heart and trusting her gut, and that's ultimately what Dooms can, because he does the opposite. But she is just such a like powerful character. I adore Clarity. I think Clarity is such a strong, badass gal, and so the image of those two women getting to drive away at the end is like my favorite thing, especially to like talk about another great song, the fucking what is it, the Grassroots, Sooner or Later, right? It's such a great drive away song. So yeah.
Okay, I'm like having to like stop before I like go into our actual discussion. I'm like, hold on. No. let's see. Oh God, clarity's. Yes. Um, what inspired Edenville? And what were some texts that you feel were heavily influential on you and bringing Renfeld to life?
Oh man. Well, Renfield himself. I actually, long before I read Dracula, I was a big fan of the original. Is that Todd Browning who did the 1931 Dracula? Someone in the chat shouted out. But anyway, the guy who played Renfield in that movie is Dwight Fry, and he just gives such an incredible performance. Like, if you've never seen Dwight Fry laughing up the like from the cargo hold of the ship when it arrives in London, it's brilliant. So he was a big inspiration to me, just that character. And then I read the book, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And so the story collection that's coming out in February actually opens with a quote from Dracula, because I felt like I needed to at some point at least nod to the name, So Dracula, just the whole Renfield mythos was a big inspiration. I had this idea, I had the sort of vague map of the county for a while, and I had the lake in the center and then the rivers coming out of it. And a friend told me that it looked like a spinal column or like a vertebra. And so I was like, oh God, what do I do with that? That's such a good idea. And then I read it for the first time. And the last 50 pages or so, when it gets really cosmic and he's like, actually, the clown is, this thing. I won't spoil it too much for anyone who hasn't read it, but it gets really bonkers. And so I was like, well, what the hell? If he can write this and it's like still shows up on best horror books ever lists, like what's the weird ass thing that I can do with the spine? And so kind of figured it out from there. So it was a big one. I don't know. Those were the two main ones that I think were big in my head. Yeah. I'm going to stick with those before I go off on other tangents.
Okay. I was like, oh, let me look at the map now. I was like,
yeah, they changed it a bit. It's not quite as like straightforwardly spinal as I initially had it, but it's cool. It was cool to see the thing become real. Like the first email they sent me with the map, and it had all the mountains on it and all this stuff. I was like, whoa, because I can't draw at all. So for years, it was just this like college ruled pen and paper thing. And so to finally see it in sort of a different format was just really, really cool. I also have with me my UK cover, which is very cool in person, I have to say, if I do say so myself.
It is. It is super awesome.
But
the fact that I love the little old ladies in this freaking book so much. And the fact that they turn into fucking spiders. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, yeah, because I mean, what else would grannies do with their time? What else would they do with their time? Of course. You're not going to find Jesus in yarn. I mean, why not?
Yeah, they find their own sort of Jesus, I guess. But they also a love letter to the little old ladies. I lived on a street. Edenville really started during the pandemic when I left Brooklyn, and I lived upstate with my mom for a bit, and she lived in a neighborhood with lots of little old ladies. And I love them, but they are also the most like backstabbingest, gossipiest. And so I was just like, how are these women not spied? Like, it just made sense to me, that they would have this like gnarly other side.
I think my favorite is when she's in the cell, like when they're holding her captive in the undercampus, and they're playing all these cruel like initiative jokes on her, and like the soap has razor blades in it, and they're just like, it's fine, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
well, it's not going to matter anyways. You'll be fine. Tough it up. And you're like, what the hell? And she's like, they think it's a joke. And she's like, but you have like, you're just sitting there and they're all like, and they keep doing it. And you're just like,
yeah.
but they are the nicest people to her. Like, oh, but honey, sweetie, it's fine. And the bit about the, oh my God, how they kill the one lady. They were just so happy the one lady died because she was so hard up on the
Brenda
meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
gosh.
I was like, it's too much. I love it. I can't.
Well, because how true is that, right? That like as soon as you get in the meeting, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you, Brenda. Thank you for organizing this for us." And then as soon as it's over, they're like, "God, Brenda,
Fucking Brenda.
She
gets us all in one place and then wants to organize another one.
Ugh.
How will we ever be able to talk about anything ever again? It was great.
Yeah.
I like that the whole town was old ladies. I mean, I knew that would go sideways. Mandy, yes. Also, I don't know if you know, but if you're stuck in private chat, you can go over to comments.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it always catches me off guard. So I was like, if you don't see them, that's why.
Okay.
It always catches me off guard until I'm like, oops, switch. Because it doesn't
thank you.
over there for us. Yeah.
Know.
It's bizarre. And then okay, I have three final questions. The first is so the fairy what were they called in the books? They weren't ferrymen, they were channelmen, the channelmans.
Oh yes.
Which great play on words. Who was the original CM? Because I love that they kept, I mean, your name obviously is not CM, you are SR.
Sure, yeah.
There is plenty of male, female, whatever have you. We're like, who's the original CM and where did they hurt you?
Well, it's a good question. Originally his name was Peter Marion, and then because I originally
how Music Man of you.
Yeah. I mean, because it was originally the Pencil Man was the Shattered Man that in the dream I had, his name was the Pencil Man for some reason. And so then everything in the book initially was sort of tied to those initials PM. So he was Peter Marion. He was having visions of this other world called Pres J Mar, and there was all this other stuff. And so that was, I kind of mentioned that in the acknowledgments, because that was another book that I sort of put down because it was very informed by like 2018 horror, which was very like Hereditary and Haunting of Hill House. And so it was very very slow burn. And the burn just went on forever. And so I was like, all right, how do we bring these otherworldly elements here? Like, where are the monsters that we can fight? So yeah, there was no like original CM in my life, but that was where the idea initially came from. And now I think it's just sort of a fun, like, anytime you encounter a CM name in a story of mine, it's a nice shorthand to be like, here's so yeah, it's just a fun thing that I hope to play with in future books. But there's no one I'm trying to think if I've ever known a CM in real life. I mean, and now I do. Now I catch, like, even today, I was working with a student whose initials were CM, and I was like,
right, you're like having a stranger than fiction moment. You're like, wait.
yes, yeah. But no one knows. No CMs hurt me in real life. They're all nice. The student earlier today, very lovely.
He was very lovely. And then, so because Mandy was so wonderful and had the whole reason we ended up reading this is because she was the one who campaigned for this in our Discord.
Oh, thank you,
I had
Mandy.
reached out to her and I was like, Mandy, if you could ask Sam 2 questions, what would be the 2 questions you could ask Sam? And she said, where did Go Crows come from? Is her first question. And her last question is, and which will be our final question for you, is how do you get a name like Jop fucking Yenigan?
God, that's a great question, because that's an old idea. I think that that is one of the main reasons that Edenville seems to not work for a lot of readers, because there are a lot of elements in it that aren't designed to be standalone. And Jop Yenigan is the main one. Jop Yenigan is part of a like much larger fantasy story that I really want to tell, like an epic that I've been thinking about since I was like 14. And so I have memories of being much younger and thinking about that name and even talking about it. Like I remember being like 19 and talking about time loops with my dad. So the Jop Yenigan and the time loop stuff is an old idea. And so there's a lot of stuff in there that like I fought to keep in there, because I was like, someday when we end the Jop Yenigan story, it's gonna loop back because they're stuck in the loop, and so we got to make sure that we say this now. So that's that. Sorry that my answer is kind of I don't remember. I've been in the loop too long. This is why I was talking about triangle, because I just the time loops really ook me out. But Go Crows is I have to credit where credit is due. It's from an ex-girlfriend of mine who would say that about her hometown team. And I don't know exactly how it became Crows. It just felt like a more like New York in the fall thing. So I kind of borrowed that from her. But
don't lie, Sam. We all know you're the world's biggest Smallville fan.
I had no idea. I had no freaking clue. How fun is that? Oh my gosh! Wait. Also, I adore Resident Alien. That is such a fun show. So yeah, totally. I think Jop Yenigan is Harry, but like more disgruntled Harry, like a little bit more asshole Harry. I feel like Harry in Resident Alien is like relatively like benign in certain ways that Jop Yenigan would totally not be. But yeah, that's a good comp.
I love Jop Yenigan because he reminds me so much of like Tiresias, but like if Tiresias made it through to today and was just done, like if he was like, I've seen too much.
Yeah.
Seen too much and I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. Don't send me back.
Everybody loves that kind of character, I think. That's always the like, you know, Han Solos of the world who the villain starts to like every year we gather and they just shoot him in the head. They're like, I don't give a shit about this. There needs to be more of that in movies. People let villains talk way too long. There needs to be more just like shooting in the head. And honestly, if you're like, wow, Sam, that's a really like messed up thing to say, that's from my mom. My mom is the one who like loves movies and books as much as I do, like just loves good stories. And so she's the one who is like, man, why are we shooting this guy in the head anytime we're watching something? Like she's always the first one to say that. So shout out Mom Reveline for sure.
Okay, hold on. Are y'all able to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My AirPod died and
oh no,
it made things weird. So I was making sure sometimes it cuts my mic out and it won't be on my mic anymore. And I'm like, oh no. So sorry.
You
Your mom
ruined it.
is excellent.
You ruined everything. It's fine.
No, I'm glad you made it back.
It's what I'm good at. I'm a
You said it,
ruiner
not
of
me.
things. Look, man. Oh, yeah, it's 8:00. All the questions in 30 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Well, if we have any questions from the chat, I have another few minutes if you have anything else that you want to throw out there before I turn it over to you guys just talking about the book. Or if you have anything else, Kaylee. I don't know. Questions from anybody.
You good, Kay?
Yeah, I'm great.
You're just
great.
doing a happy dance.
This is my I'm letting people's fingers do typies because I know it
You're
takes a
like
second to type.
embodying the Jeopardy theme.
Yeah, I'm like do.
Yeah.
Like I know it takes a second to type. Did you buy dog treats? Question mark.
No, the dog left. My downstairs neighbor, truth be told, was only dog sitting for our landlord. So she was only here for like less than a week. Very sad.
Aw.
You know. She did come upstairs once when I was making bacon and was like howling for bacon. I was like, bitch, I don't even know you. Like, we just met and you're like
She's like,
whining
but
this
you
hard at me.
could.
Yeah.
But you could.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, I know. Duh. So tell us that's not English. When does your next collection of Renfeld stories come out?
Yes.
Renfeld stories.
Yeah, Renfield.
Renfield.
But they come out February 11th. You can
Happy
pre-order
birthday
it.
to me.
What's that?
Happy birthday to me. That's the day after my birthday.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday. Wow.
I have something to look forward to now.
So his book is an Aquarius,
Yeah.
guys.
Oh my gosh. That's true. It does sort of feel like an Aquarius, I guess. That's thinking on it. But no, February 11th, 2025. I'm very excited about it. You can pre-order it now wherever books are sold. I don't know anything about NetGalley stuff or anything yet, but I'm gonna email my publicist tomorrow, I think, and ask. But anyway, that really is where Renfield County started. You know, growing up in the Hudson Valley, driving around, seeing weird things around for years and years. That to me is what Renfield County is like this place. So the stories will really highlight that. What's up?
You had a spot in the book that you talked about, like the place in New Jersey where there was like ghost roads. And I was like, yes!
Yes.
I grew up outside of Trenton. I grew up in Hamilton.
Oh, no way.
And so, yeah. And so I was like,
so you've been on the ghost road. Have you like gone on the ghost roads at night and whatnot?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
No. Mostly because I was like too young at the time. And so my parents were like, we don't F with the ghosts. And I was like, fair, I am a child. But now that I'm an adult, you know, I go up visit in like January with my friend and it's fun and stuff. But we're like, she's not into that. She's like, I don't fuck with ghosts. And we're like, no, she's the one who would be like very Quinn, and she would be like,
oh yeah,
I smell a ghost fart and we're Ichaboding home. Like I even
somebody's got to.
Like she's like, I even think about a ghost and I'm saying Ichabod, okay? Like that's fair. That's fair. 100%.
Well,
like yeah.
That's such a like funny. I mean, now that you say it, it's such a funny thing how, especially in relationships, those are the boundaries that you set that then you like keep pushing back, right? That you're like, and not even in relationships, but with yourself, like even like your relationship with like food and whatnot. I'm always like, all right, I'm never ordering this much Domino's again, and then you like keep doing it, and you know, so yeah, it's kind of fun to look at that through a horror movie lens. But was I a fan of John Green or David Levithan? John Green, I liked. Looking for Alaska, I think I read right after high school, which I liked. I never got deeply into either of those authors. I think I only read two John Green books, the two big ones, Looking for Alaska and The Fault in Our Stars. Um, I certainly cried, I think, at both of them, like a fool, like an utter teenage fool, which is exactly like what those books are beautiful because they're designed to do exactly that. And like I was thinking about revisiting them recently, actually, because like I said, I'm trying to like, I feel like everything as a writer that I do is sort of geared towards like stories that I would have enjoyed as a kid or in high school or whatever. So I think it's important to stay in touch with that stuff.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
were just having that conversation, Maggie and I.
right?
We were.
Nice.
We
Yeah,
were.
it's
We
good.
were. Because, yeah, no, that's a very big, I mean, it's important not to lose those things, especially as you like get older and you're trying to figure, like, there's so much new content coming in that I feel
Mm,
like staying connected to the content that like made us
yeah.
helps us navigate I don't want to say helps us navigate the newer waters because that sounds very base, but I think it helps us like in the same way like when you go to college and you like learn how to disseminate information, right? I feel like it helps us pull what we need
Mm,
in the new seasons of life that we're in. Like there's a
yeah.
whole reason why we're gravitating to this information.
Yeah.
So why are we pulling what we're pulling from it? It's like the elevator. Like flowers in the attic. Why me?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not saying fuck your brother,
But
My entire bookshelf is just being called out right now. John Green, Flowers in the Attic.
oh,
tell me you're a millennial without telling me you're a
you're a
millennial.
millennial.
This
No,
is a safe space, everyone.
it's true though, because you're right, there's so much content coming out, especially in horror now, that I have to like go out of my way. I have to try to remember to like to go back to older books that I know will feed me, because I think when you read a new book, it's always sort of an experiment. You're like, oh, this could be good, it might not, it might work for me even if it works not so well for other people. It could be anything, but there are always books that I know will feed something. Like I'm a big Shirley Jackson fan. I don't know if that felt clear in the book as well. I think she's just a master of dialogue and everything. So like every time I pick up a story by her or a book that I haven't read, which I think is now just only down to one book, I always know that it's going to be something that feeds me, or like right now I'm halfway through Jurassic Park for the first time. Oh, always been the biggest fan of the movie, but never read the book. But I like Crichton's stuff. So that was something like, okay, this is going to feed me for sure in some way. Right. Hell yeah. Shirley forever. The one I haven't read by her is what is it called? The Road Through the Brick Wall. The brick wall with a road in it. Who knows this title? I don't remember what it is. I think it's The Road to the Brick Wall.
That makes more sense than the authors I brought up.
They're in there for sure. They, everyone's in there a little bit. Yeah. Anyway.
The Road Through the Wall.
Yes. Yeah.
You found that faster than I did. Kind of impressed.
I was like, The Road Through Shirley Jackson, and then it holds up.
Yeah, that's the only one by her that I haven't read, so I'm going to try to get to it this fall. But what a master. Anyway, listen, thank you for having me. I don't know if there are any more questions or anything, but I figure I'll let you talk about the book on your own now. And just wanted to say again, like, thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I'm so happy that y'all engaged with the book on such a deep level. Like, Kaylee was saying something about how it made you like feel critical again, and I was like, there's stuff to be critical about. Thank you. Like analysis.
That's the 1, 2, 3. The third shelf is all of my college textbooks that I am too stubborn to ever get rid of. And I was like going through them, and I was like digging back up, like I was like pulling out my Ovid book, and I was like, oh, and that reminds me of that. And I was like pulling other books off the shelf, and I was like, oh, but like here. It was very fun. I missed it a lot. I was like, this book is such a love letter, and it's so good.
Yeah,
it
like, really is.
It stands on its own. It stands on its own if you didn't go to school. But like if you did go to school, like I'm just a mess. Oh, hi, baby. Mwah.
The child heard the tears.
It's like, don't be a mess. Oh, please.
She started. Oh, she just came home with her. She just came home with her dad.
Your husband.
Yeah, they were running errands and they just came home.
Husband, dad.
You're on FaceTime with people. I love people. That's
my niece.
That's her. But she started sending. I think I posted it somewhere. She now texts emojis, and she loves to send alien, worm, sunflower, emoji poop. And I'm like, that is
Edenville out of context.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this in the car with you.
No, it's good for her. Builds character.
That's my statement. So I'm like, you've been listening to this stuff your whole life. You're fine. You'll grow up very well adjusted. That's what we're going with. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Fun. Awesome.
Is that a million crows? I'm not gonna go through all those zeros. I'm an English major, not a mathematician.
I don't know. But missing a zero.
I think it's a billion crows.
That's a lot of crows.
That's a lot of crows.
Go fucking crows.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh.
And thank you so much for writing.
Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot. As I'm deep in edits for the next one, it's always good to hear, because you're like by yourself, you're like, what? You like the last one? That's great,
You made it.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you again. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for reading. Go Crows. And February 11th, The Poorly Made. Check it out. Very excited. All right. Bye.
Well, have a good night, Sam.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye. I almost hit leave studio as well. I'm not doing that mistake this time. Nope.
This is why I control everything.
I would just leave studio and he would have had to let me back in. Like
yelling at you. All right. Are we ready for the memes?
We're ready for memes. Oh, I should have done the memes while he was here. But okay. So I have memes before we get started. I shamelessly stole some of these from the interwebs, and Sam had posted this one on his stories, and I thought it was hysterical. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, I was like, I have to save this and show it on our discussion because it was so funny, and I didn't want to ruin it for anybody before they finished the book. And so it was like, would you still love me if I was a worm? And then mechanical worm inside brain, and it says probably not. I was like, yes, that's so funny. And then head, shoulders, knees, and crows. Go crows! And then I made this collage. I made it for you, for all of you, because you guys, I finished this before so many of you, and the only person who I was able to send it to at the time was Mandy and Sam. And so they had to endure that and all of my talking. And so I needed a way to talk about this book with the rest of y'all without spoiling things for the rest of y'all. So I made this collage for y'all so that way I could talk about it without talking about anything. You're welcome. Now you guys can understand it.
Are we moving on?
I'm so happy. If you need an actual picture, I think I posted it in the Discord. But if you need like a better picture, you can message me and I'll send you one because I think it's really fucking funny. Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay. Bad boyfriends and creepy towns, folks.
All right, let's go. We're gonna get this discussion started, babies. Okay.
How do you have so much energy?
Oh, because I think so what you don't know about liquid death
I don't know a lot of things.
is this psychotic can of green tea will use agave and B vitamins to savagely murder your thirst and turn its insides into balloon animals to book gigs at children's birthday parties. We are not at all sponsored by Liquid Death. Unless Liquid Death, you would like to sponsor us, but then please only sponsor us with your teas, because I can't do carbonation. But I love their teas. They slap. They're so good. And I have a can cutter, so I cut most unnecessary purchase I've ever made, but it was so smart. I have a can cutter and I cut the lids off.
You're
'cause I
making
don't
me
like the lids.
thirsty. You're making me want to venture out to my local Walmart and buy one and try it.
They're very good. I like them a lot. Okay. Who hated Cam? I really need to talk about how much I hated Cam. Ooh, babies. Ooh, and it's Claudia. She's here. Yeah. There she is. I was like, where's Claudia? Okay, guys.
What a
All right.
lackluster soup can of a man.
Cam, P-Bales. Cam. All right. I would like a show of hands in the chat. Who here thinks Cam was the main character?
It's okay to be wrong. There are no right answers here. Unless
there is a right
Sam
answer.
wanted to pop back in and clarify.
I would like those now I would like those of you to tell us if you think Quinn was the main character of the story.
Yes.
Yeah, it was all about Quinn. It was like, I'm gonna stand on that hill. I'll die on that hill. I think it was all about Quinn. Quinn. I'm gonna pull out a wedgie, and you all watched it, and I'm sorry, but you all know I was candid about it.
Okay, you know who they remind me of? Because you already told me who they remind you of. This pairing.
Oh yeah, I think they remind me of Dipper and Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls.
I shit you not. They remind me of like Quentin from The Magicians and his girlfriend.
Oh. The blonde?
Yeah.
Makes the toy, the glass
yeah.
pony? Yeah.
Yeah. That's who they remind me of.
Oh, I could see it. I can kind of see it. Yeah. I can see the energy there. Cam thinks he's the main character, but it was Quinn.
Yes. Exactly.
Quinn literally fought her way into being the main character, and she deserved it. She fucking did. Quinn was like, whoosh. Yes.
Yep.
That is the best description I have ever seen in my life. Quinn fought her way into being the main character. Yes. Okay. So there were some tropes set up here, and I really, I don't know about you guys, but I really loved some of these. There were some that I think, to like rattle off a couple, we had the weird spooky town, right? We had, I don't know if this changes, but Cam is the worst. Don't worry, It doesn't. Um, don't worry, it doesn't change. It does not change. There's like a part of the book where you're like, you get like a tiny, you have this moment where you're like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe, maybe I have like, maybe he can change. Maybe he's developing a conscience. Maybe maybe he can be a good person and learn from his actions. A- And then, like, literally, maybe it was like 2.5 pages later. Nope. I regret that thought. I regret that thought so hard. And he gets beat with a cane, and it is everything. It is everything you could ever ask for. It was amazing. Just absolute chef kiss. It was so good. It was yes. So I don't know if anybody else loved that, but when Quinn beats the shit out of him with a cane, it's everything to me. Um, everything, and the dialogue in that section is perfect. Perfection. Okay, so we have the bad boyfriend. We have a creepy town. We have like he's brainwashed by worms, but he was a total douchebag before the worms. So I was excited for the caning. So good. Yes. Yes, girlies. Yes. Okay. Um we have those. We have what else? Um
Not my
I
phone
have
dying.
oh no. I have a lot of quotes. So I'm like trying to find I should have highlighted these in the right colors. And I didn't because I was on the Kindle and you can't highlight my paperweight. And you can't highlight colors in the paperweight. Um there is I love that Quinn calls out like right off the bat the she calls it out pretty freaking quickly. She's like when in chapter 3 with Sydney Kim, like when they're having the conversation with her, like right after Sydney's like all first rounds on me. So they have there's the mysterious stranger, right? We have that trope going on. And then I'm like sorry, I'm like trying to find the right quote. Uh there it is. Okay. Actually, she said, I have, and I have a bit of a strange question for you. Oh wait, hold on, wrong one. My other da, 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 da. Don't make it weird. Okay, sorry. It's haunted, said Quinn, eyeing Sid. There are stories, bad stories. Well, how come nobody ever told me stories about Renfield County? Cam said, whining. I love a good haunting.
Liner.
They're not nice stories, said Quinn, her jaw working. Something strange happening to her that Cam couldn't quite read. It's supposedly one of the most haunted places in America, said Sid. You know, you know that one road in New Jersey where people always see phantom trucks and ghosts and whatnot? Sure, said Cam, feeling defensive. Of course I do. It's like that, but the entire county. But Edenville is nice, especially on campus. I see. Cam picked at his beard. And then there's the whole "it reels you in" comment.
Yes.
Villas Road at night. Oops, sorry. Oh, the fucking beard picking.
My husband does that. He has no beard, but he has like whatever that disease birds have where they pick out feathers when they like are not molting. That's my husband. So listening to that in the audiobook, I was like,
Cam wasn't feeling
mm. He was though.
Also, an entire town where there is not a single person other than an old lady running a shop, that is a problem. You're
Bad.
talking an entire college town and not a single one of them is trying to make a couple extra bucks in a shop. I don't have a good vision of Cam in my head, but I hated him. Okay, so
It's okay. He's not worth a vision anyway.
hold on. So this is my fun fact. So I remember seeing on like Sam's story or something that like he like had like a rough sketch of what Cam looked like.
Mm.
And he was like, he kind of looks like me, but like a bit like rounder and with like a bushier beard and like these like round glasses. I was like, oh God, oh no, oh no, oh no. And he's just kind of sad. I can't remember where it was, but he had like a drawing was there. And I was like, oh yeah, that fits. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. So I just picture like, imagine like, this is how I'm gonna picture, this is how I pictured Camp. Imagine, I feel like the first chapter sets it up so good too. Like, imagine your dude bro who only knows how to play The Witcher, okay? Like, he just sits and eats Doritos and plays The Witcher all day. And don't get me wrong, I love The Witcher. I play The Witcher a lot, all right? But all he does is sit, play The Witcher, and then like maybe some Skyrim, and he only talks about fantasy games, and he only tells you like he's very pretentious and all this shit, and he gatekeeps everything, and he won't let you touch his PlayStation, and he's like da 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 da, right? But then he's like, he only knows how to do one thing, okay? And it's gatekeep. Nothing else he can do well. So he just has to hide the fact that he can only do one thing. And how does he do it? He wears glasses. Because glasses make you look smart. Oh, and this shit, no one pushes their glasses up with their pinky. I kept reading that, and every time he said it, I was like,
pretentious.
that is the most god awful. Who does this? If you, I will tell you, if you're a nice person and you raise your glasses up with your pinky, I'm sorry, you probably do it and it's fine and it's okay. But if you are Cam and you're pushing your glasses up with your pinky, you're an asshole. This comment is for Cam and Cam alone. I'm not making complete sentences. Oh, I kind of remember that. I kind of pictured him like small and hipsterish. Yeah. I just picture him like somebody that Taylor Swift would write. No, yeah, I kind of picture him like somebody Taylor Swift would bully. In one of her albums, like on my first listen through, I didn't really understand all the side stories. Yeah. I kind of laughed because, like, in going back looking through my notes, I didn't realize how, like, in your face everything was in, like, that first chapter of, like, with Madison? What's her name? Marion? What's her name? I got called out on this earlier. This is my curse. Y'all know this. Madeline! With Madeline and Wes, when Madeline and Wes are talking before they grab Benny, um, and they're talking about, like, the manuscript and stuff. I didn't realize how, like, right there everything was. I didn't realize. They're like, grab Benny. He drinks the stuff. And I'm like, what? It's all there. I was like, oh, wow. Sure is. Okay. All right. So hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself and my brain is going too fast. Okay. So we have our tropes. We have our bad boyfriend. We have our creepy town. We have our setting, right? We know things are ick. We know things are not super great. We all agree. We all have that. We're all like, no, thank you. The scene is set. And the next slide. Granny, can you spin me some peace of mind? We kind of touched on this with Sam. Actually, we touched on a lot of this with Sam. I think one of the only things we didn't talk about was the true cult, like the really weird cult of it all. I I feel like I should have asked about this. But I think it's really interesting how different the grannies are from the, I guess, the worm people. The spider ladies are very different from the worm people in like how it affects them. These like memory juices or whatever. Um, because this just broke my brain a little bit. I was still processing this thought and I was like, I'm sure it'll come to no, it has not finished processing. It's like the file was like 98% downloaded and it never finished downloading. But I had to take some notes and then jumping around in the story. Yeah. On my first listen through, I didn't really understand all the sites. Yeah. Um, but like with so there's the channelman, there's the worm people, and then there's the old ladies, right? And the worms, I don't know what to call them other than worms. But the like Yenigan folk, I guess, um, they they have like superpowers, right? In a sense, like they have like I feel like you're Kenzie. I'm asking questions and you're like looking away, leaving me hanging, and I'm like, I'm trying to work this one out loud, and you're like, I've never read this book, and I'm like, you read this book and rated it 4.5. Work this out with me. Talk to me.
Because I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm sorry. You're not giving me enough to go on.
I think it's interesting how like the goo juices. Look, men just be out here influential and shit, making people drink their goo juices, and it's causing things to go awry, okay? And there's little old ladies in the under campus that are like, one drink to remember, one drink to forget. And I just think it's a real interesting metaphor for like weird alcoholism.
Yeah.
And the interplanet aether, okay? And I think it's really fucking weird. But I also think the allegory for alcoholism is interesting, okay? And cults, okay? So there's your 98% downloaded file.
Right. See, to me, when I was listening to that, I had to keep actively in my mind that these are grannies. These are old women who have lived their life. And so, like, at some point, my brain was just like, they're gonna be weird because they can get away with it. And also, they've lived a life. So, like, listening to that scene, I'm like, well, sure, that's the mindset you have of all of this because there's nothing really for you to lose.
Also, I had this moment where I was wondering, I was like, were they okay? Obviously, they were not always old ladies because one is not born an old wrinkly bitch. But
What if they were just hatched?
no. I'm wondering if like because you know how Slitter was like 80 when he disappeared in the 90s.
Yes.
So he's like 100 and whatever at this point, right?
If it's canonically within the year of our 2023, 24.
Glory for alcohol is interesting, okay? Leave me alone, Maggie.
That would make him 103 or 104.
He's old, okay, and
Ancient.
he's past elderly, and
not quite a pharaoh, but
he's old, and like, is he stealing youth from these women?
Ooh, yeah.
Because there's no way that like
he should still be alive.
Well, that and like Clarity's mom. Because isn't there a moment where she talks about like how much older she is since Clarity's left? Like how much older she looks?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Because
I just
like, is
wrote
he
it off as
stealing
like
their youth?
stress
like,
and depression on the body, but yeah,
I
now
thought
that you
that
say
too
that.
for a second. I was like, okay, maybe, but I'm also like, because I think it's really cool to think about this book in like two senses, especially because I'm like, well, I almost dropped a drink on me and I would have been very sad.
Goodness. This is why we can't have nice things, Kaylee.
I know. Because you break them, I had to take them. It wouldn't be alive if we didn't bust down to Taylor Swift lyrics, and you know it. Slitter said they gave him their husks or whatever, and he gave them vitality. Not in those words, but that's true. But so this was the question, and this was where I was like, this feels gray. I'm not 100% certain on this. Is when does he get the husks? Because he speaks of them like once they've died, right? Like it sounds like, because there was Brenda, right? And it sounded like he was chewing on Brenda once Brenda, like they had killed Brenda, right? Or like once they had like out, like they had like, And so I'm wondering, I'm like, at what point do you eat the husk? At what point do you take... Oh, the husks were the cocoons? Oh. See, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I have questions. So we're gonna put a pin in that. And we're gonna put a pin in that. But I think it's really interesting that like you have all of these old ladies who are probably drinking themselves to death, right? Because they've lost people. And then they find this charismatic, influential person who's like, I can give you answers. The answers you seek, I can give them to you. Right? And then he makes them live underground, alienates them from everybody. That's what I thought. Them's the breaks, guys. Them's the breaks. Them's the breaks. Put a pin in that husk. Actually, I'm just gonna stick my whole tongue in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, did you put that back in?
What? What are you
Did you put
talking
a thing
about?
back in? I
No.
deleted the thing. Did you put a thing back in?
I don't know. What did you delete, Kaylee?
I don't know. I'm reading. Hold on.
You're making me paranoid. And for what? For what reason?
For what reasons? I don't know. It's okay. We're okay. But yes, we're gonna put a pin in that thought but I really love the allegory for like the whole grannies and stuff because I'm like, just like the cult and alcoholism and the fact that like these women are so far gone that they end up essentially what happens is typical cult behavior. They get love bombed, they get brought in, they get like, oh, it is so good. Oh, it was so well done. And then they try to do this to Quinn, right? But it doesn't work. Like for some reason, it doesn't work on Quinn. It almost does. Right? There's a point where it almost does.
See, I feel like part of the reason why a lot of the things that almost happen to her is because of just the sheer, like, for lack of better words, compulsive of the nature and like the dirt, the water, everything that draws her in through compulsivity. I feel like it was more along the lines with that than anything, than actually being like, convinced. You know what I mean?
I think she never denied it, right? Like she never denied anything was going on. She accepted all of it was going on, which I think made it easier for her to see clearly. Like I think it made it easier for her to see with eyes wide open and make clear judgment. Quinn just went along and then she didn't because she finally wanted to do her own thing. Fuck Cam, go Crows. I mean, she did, but she didn't because even in the beginning, Quinn's story really never was about Cam. I mean, she even has, and whoa, we're gonna get ahead of myself because I have a whole point about this. I have a whole slide dedicated to this conversation. There's a whole slide dedicated to this conversation. We'll get there. Next slide.
There's my mouse. Yay! What I have been dying to talk about. Hi.
Because I was like, I feel like there's a slide missing somewhere that we were going to talk about, and I feel like it's somewhere in here. It was very close, and it was this one.
It was this one.
Yeah, because I was like, I feel like this is where I'm headed, and where is it? Yeah, it's this one.
Let me talk about my stuff because I'm pretty sure my stuff is not nearly as long as yours is, and this is literally my only contribution to the slides this time that
You
I'm
go
proud
first.
of.
You go
Okay,
first.
so the wonderland nature of the sunflowers, and then the
Gonna eat
second
it.
half of this, the calm of an oxborough. So when I was reading this, the amount of sentience I'm picking up on the sounds that you are deploying. Thanks. The sentience of these sunflowers, and in my mind, because I was listening to the audiobook, I felt like they were constantly leering, like when sunflowers follow the direction of the sun, and how it felt like they were always watching Quinn in the book. And everyone was just like, they're just a bunch of sunflowers planted by some crazy eccentric old man. They're not important. It's fine. You're weird for thinking it's weird. Like
You're weird for thinking it's weird.
right? The whole weird police of the sunflower just watching, observing, and monitoring everything. And Quinn is like, I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking I'm crazy, but I know I'm not crazy. And yeah, the sunflowers were watching. And I love that you added, I pictured them with actual faces. So when I was like reading about how the sunflowers were acting to their presence, I was like, this sounds like the flowers in Alice in Wonderland. In particular, the Disney version, where they're all snotty, but they're talking about Alice, and they are like, "What kind of flower are you? Are you a weed?" To Alice, they're trying to figure out what she is.
Mhm.
It felt very much like, "What are you? Are you a local? You're not from around
Mm.
here. You're different. Why are you different? What kind of person are you? Are you a threat?" Like, it felt very much like that. The flowers are mean girls, yes. It felt very much through that lens. And part of me was like misremembering Alice in Wonderland. I was like, were the flowers in Alice in Wonderland working for the Queen of Hearts? But
Oh my
no,
god.
they
Oh my god.
weren't.
You know
They
what
they were
flowers
just
have?
gossips. What?
You know what flowers have?
What?
Roots.
Yes.
And you know what roots would go to? The under campus.
Yes.
And you know who runs and controls the under campus? Motherfucking Slitter. Which reminds me of Master
Uh-huh.
Splinter, but like evil Master Splinter.
My goodness. I love that Claudia is like, but more sinister because they grew from land soaked in blood. Exactly.
Yes!
Okay. And I didn't think to do this earlier for some reason, but I have my complete language of flowers pulled out right here. And if you don't know, there's a couple of different versions of sunflowers, but there's 3 that we can focus on. And I'm just like looking at like what my book tells me, and for in particular like the giant sunflowers, which I think is what these sunflowers most likely are from the book. And it's like symbolic meanings are intellectual greatness, lofty thoughts, misery, splendid, splendor, pure and lofty thoughts, and then possible powers, fertility, happiness, health, sustenance, wisdom, wish magic, wishes. Why does all of that give me the EBGBs with what we just read from Edenville? Why? Why? And it
Also,
just
imagine how good that's gonna go when we talk about Jop Yenigan in the next slide. And
Mhm.
I bring up my thing.
And also from like the Helianthus, which is more like a smaller sunflower, but one of the common ones. It's the ones with that green
Hestia,
middle.
that's who I couldn't think of earlier.
What?
Hestia, that's who I couldn't think of earlier.
Oh, but it's the sunflower with like a green middle. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, this is really interesting. In the folklore and facts section for this one, and I just skimmed this, so bear with me. Um, Native American prairie Indians would put bowls of helianthus seeds as a tribute on the graves of their dead loved ones. Mm. I have never been so afraid of a flower before in my life. And the more I learn about sunflowers and the implications of how they acted in Edenville, I'm like, oh, I have every right to be afraid of a flower. It does not help at all. And Kaylee and I, we were talking about this before while we were getting ready, and part of the reason why we wanted to include the Knoxboro cigarettes, especially with it being a local thing, is could it be possible that like the sunflowers somehow worked their way into being ingredients for the cigarettes? And whenever she was starting to, Quinn smoking them, she felt more of a pull over this place. In Ivy, Taylor Swift, she's just like, putting roots in my dreamland. That type of feeling, that type of connotation. But I guess in this,
I feel like Ivy is your favorite Taylor Swift song. You won't come right out and say it, but I think Ivy is your favorite Taylor Swift song.
Probably off of Evermore, yes, probably.
It's not your favorite bop, but it is your favorite Taylor Swift song.
Probably. But I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland, but like more in the context of like nightmares. I can't stop you from implanting nightmares into my very being that's telling me I need to get the fuck out of here.
But I also love that, like, oh god, the juxtaposition at the end too, when she's like, well, we can't really do anything but light these fucking Knoxboroughs. And the Knoxboroughs were a perfect little segue so Quinn would have a lighter in her hand at the end. Yes, babies. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Come on, Marilyn. Also, I just want to take a second, and I love that, like, this is so fucked up.
You okay?
The only good dad is a dead dad.
You said it. I'm not gonna.
Apparently, in this novel, that's the
Leaving like a father, running like water.
I mean, let's be real. Quinn's dad never let her down in this book. He is the only man in this book that never did a damn thing wrong.
True. Very true. Very true.
You know how you don't tarnish a legacy? You gotta be dead. You gotta be dead, Slitter.
Do we have any more that we want to discuss about this slide?
I also like that the Knoxboroughs are kind of like a way that they're slowly making themselves a part of the world, but also kind of like keeping things at bay, like the worm people. They're like slowly kind of killing themselves, slowly keeping things at bay, but also it's like home. It's like it made me think of like how vampires have to sleep with like soil under their coffin.
Yep.
They're like
respective countries that they
their respective countries. Yeah, that's what it made me think of. Because the first time oh my god. Okay, so the first time Quinn tries Knoxboroughs, she's like, ugh, this tastes so bad. I can't do this. right? But then after she shredded, oh my God. Oh,
Calm down, speak. So much of this has been you reacting and not so much saying. Come on.
because this book is so good. Okay. So at the very end,
Mm-hmm.
when on page 309, chapter 26, but before Quinn could respond, the wood exploded outward. Shards of it flew across her face. She put up her hands to shield her eyes, and splinters burrowed themselves into her skin. And then doesn't she have another Knoxborough at the end of the book? I wonder why she can stomach them now.
I have a lot of thoughts on the ending.
I wonder why she can stomach them now. Oh, you couldn't handle them before, but now? Is it because you might, I don't know, have parts of the you might have parts of the Renfield giant within you and of you? I'm so sad that Quinn's probably going to get turned into a terrible person, and it makes me really upset. But I don't want to think about that.
I like rooting for an underdog.
Me too, but also, like, what if not? Because Quinn's a woman.
I don't know. I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Yes.
Hello. Can I ask who's speaking?
Oh, hello. Can I ask who's speaking? Yes. So this is in reference to the dead voice box, which, oh my God,
So I have to
that,
ask for clarification here. Is it the voice boxes or the tongues? And I'm only asking this because of what happens with Clarity.
bro, it's both. And the dead voice box,
It's so creepy and it reminds me of Dead Silence.
it just clicked the pun. I was like, it's just a box of dead phone, like it's just a box of phones. The entire time I read that, I was like, it's just a box of phones. It's just a box of phones. It's just a box of phones. And I just, for the first, you ever say something out loud for the first time and it hits different? And you're like, oh! Hey guys, welcome. What up? Yep. That's my entire life. So, okay. Yep. So, this is in reference to Benny and his dead voice box. At first, right? Because, oh God, Benny. Oh, Benny.
That poor man. He was never able to have a normal relationship ever. I feel so bad.
Poor Benny. And, you know, Benny was so sad. And he was trying. And it. The woman nodded. Quinn felt that she'd fed a dangerous shadow energy into the world. She shouldn't have called him Cam. She shouldn't have called Cam her fiance out loud. What department is he in? English or creative writing? Oh, you shouldn't marry writers, though. You always end up in books. I have to star that. I'm sorry, that's really funny. It made me giggle. Apparently, you can't
why?
befriend them either. You can't befriend them either, apparently.
Okay, but was it because Mandy? Was it because of like
I thought Benny
outside
was
of
a dick.
his very
Hold on,
integral
hold
chapter?
on. Hold Tio, before or after? McCall's killed. I also think it's funny that his name is Mick Call. I was like,
Uh-huh.
damn, that's on the nose. Had killed people before Yennegan took him. I kind of felt bad for him, but he did terrible things.
Yes, he did. We're not negating that he did terrible things whatsoever, but also like the rest of that does take a toll. Whether we like it or not, that is horrific.
You're being the guy who says, there's no ghost, babe. Go back to sleep. You're being delusional. And you said you wouldn't be. You promised me we'd be rational about this, not caricatures. Oh, is that what she's beating the shit out of him? Excellent.
I'm about ready to take your notes away from you by texting.
No, I need my
Sean.
notes.
Then stop being distracted by your notes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would have still disliked Benny if he wasn't, possessed by worms. Uh I still, I don't vibe with people who steal literal stories and plagiarize and,
So, yeah. Okay, so about Benny
yeah.
slash Drop In again. Let's talk about this for a second because this, he is a writer's worst nightmare.
Yes.
Okay, and I love this so fucking much. Everything that Job Yennegan is, well, not, but the hybrid of this is so awful, and I love it because Benny is able to not just steal voices, but when you steal a voice, the implication with that is that you're not just stealing a voice, but you're all like, what is the juxtaposition between the juxtaposition between Benny and Job Yennegan, I think is very interesting because where Benny is stealing voices, right? Benny uses his gift, I guess, to steal voices, right? Job Yennegan is using the gift to steal stories. That is an incredible, although they do the same thing, like they at the base, they're using the tool the same way, right? Like he's taking tongues, he's um putting people, like in boxes and having to do the same thing and putting people in the dead voice box, right? Like they're doing the same thing, but their intentions are totally different. And at the end of the day, it comes down to like a writer's worst nightmare, which is essentially like Cam's nightmare, which at the end of the day is what? Plagiarizing. Which I also think is really funny because where does night Maggie, love you. Because at the end of the day, where does plagiarizing come from? The root of plagiarizing, I think, is super, super cool because let me pull this up for you guys because I think this is a super dope lesson to learn. Does anybody know, Kinsey, not you, because I feel like I've told you. Does anybody know? I have to tell this. I have to tell her, or else she will say it. Does anybody know where the word plagiarism comes from? Okay. So plagiarism. Ha! I love Claudia. Nope. Love Claudia. Thank you for. So the word plagiarism is actually derived from Latin, um, plagiaris, and it literally means a kidnapper who ensnares children or slaves in a net. So I super duper duper double love this because when it changes over from when you're looking at the Benny Job Yanigan, right, juxtaposition, you have one of them is kidnapping and killing people, right? They're ensnaring, they're kidnapping, they're killing people.
Are
And
you
the
stuck?
other is kidnapping and ensnaring stories.
You need
And
help?
I just, at the root, it's
Oh, you do.
plagiarism.
You
And I
do.
think that is absolutely like just chef kiss and brilliant. Because it's so to have a villain who is centered around tongues and voices in a story that deals with what you can see, like what you need to see, that's just like I know all of it's like prophetic, right? Like all of it is about prophecy, all of it is about like what are you able to see? I need to see that. I need, you to write that down. I need you to tell me. I need you to da 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 da, right? But the fact that so much is being stolen along the way, these narratives are having to be these narratives are being kidnapped essentially. And even though we hate Cam is Cam and Clarity. I mean, Claire, because we do get Clarity back, but Cam and Clarity both really are the first to really be like, no, especially Clarity, because God, Clarity, which is I think where we're going next. Is Clarity the next? It is. Oh yeah, I'm so proud of how I put these slides. We can go to the next one because with Clarity, Clarity spends her entire time she is entrapped, desperately hiding because everything's about vision, everything's about sight, everything's about, being able to drink the juices of the interplanal aether, these man icon juices, and that's what they are. And
Don't make me throw up at my desk, please.
and Clarity spends the entire time fighting, even when she's hooked up, even when she's put on these like tubes and everything, and on the like, what is it called? It's called what do they call it? They call it the bleeder. When she's on the bleeder, um, she spends the entire time hiding where the location of the chest is, which I also think is pretty hysterical that Clarity is hiding her chest.
Also, can we talk about that chest though and how creepy it was?
Clarity is hiding her chest that only moves backwards. Clarity is moving her backwards moving chest to keep it out of sight from a man that she didn't want to touch her. Weird. That's so odd and not at all queer coded. Anyways, oh, I would too. I would too. I would read a whole story about that chest. Absolutely. Wait, the actual chest. I want to be there. I'm gay for that, actually. I'm very gay for something we'll talk about in a bit. Anyways, hold on. Tio, we're gonna go back to this. This slide's gonna be really short. Can we also talk about the absolute irony of Clarity's name? I love it so much. That was just pure Clarity Mither. And then I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know what the definition of mither is?
No, do tell.
Means to fuss over or to moan about something. And I just love that it was like, how did Clarity end up in trouble? Because she was complaining.
You're gonna have to repeat yourself because it
I
wouldn't.
cut out. I
Yeah,
glitched.
yeah.
How did Clarity end up in trouble? How did she end up on the bleeder? How did she end up in the clutches of Jop Yenigan? Because she was complaining. Because she was fussing over her writing. She didn't want to write what he wanted her to write. She was fussing over it. Since the good ones are all taken, and the good Lord forgot my gay awakening, I'll just stick to my bitching and moaning.
Hard to believe
I,
that came out after.
I think Clarity is very Sabrina Carpenter coded. It's fine. It's fine. I think
Also,
Clarity is the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, I think Clarity is very Sabrina Carpenter coded.
can we talk about the fact that the chest is like, in Clarity's words, supposed to look like a steamer trunk?
Yeah.
If you haven't looked up pictures of steamer trunks, they literally look like what Harry Potter and Ron Weasley have. But
Yeah.
for some reason, all I could picture was like the fantastical Beast book with the mouth.
Oh, I did too. I don't know why that's what I thought of, but that's what I thought of too. I was like, why is that what I'm thinking?
I
Oh,
think
and then
it's because of
especially
the
when it
level
like
of malice.
opens and the cam's like, I'm worthless. I'm worthless. I'm like, yeah, you're wire. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, God. But yeah, that's my little fun fact. I love giving you guys little linguistics lessons
Also,
around
real
this
quick,
town.
while we're talking about the chest, because this does relate, did Clarity ever state why her mom gave her the chest? I don't remember, like, the specific reason.
Um
And I don't remember the specific reason because when I heard that she received a steamer chest from her mom, my brain instantly took over and was like, "Oh yeah, because that's a totally normal like 1950s teenager mom to teenager gift to have where you put all of your like laundry linen and your pots and pans and everything that'll set you up for adulthood into
I
a
think it was because she was going to college.
yeah.
I think it was because she was going to college and it started to freak her out. And she was like,
Mm,
no. And so she put it in the closet and it was still freaking her out. She was like, no. Or there was two stories about the steamer chest, and I can't remember which
mm,
one was Clarity's
mm,
because it came back up twice. And I think both of them might have been hers um, because it comes up twice. There was one where it was going on a trip,
mm.
like it was going on vacation, and then they were
Okay.
like, "That's weird. It's eating all my clothes." And then I remember that one. And then there was one, I think she was taking it to, like, she was going away
Yeah.
and her mom gave it to her. And then she was like, it feels wrong. Like, she could hear it moving at night and stuff. And she was
Yeah.
like, no. And so she
Yeah.
would put it like in the back of her closet. And that was when, um, that was when,
She didn't even take it when they moved.
yeah, I think, yeah, no, she didn't. I think that was when she started to realize that's what they were looking for.
Mhm.
That's what they were looking for because, that was the only thing she wouldn't let them see. And that's why
Mhm.
he kept her on the bleeder because he knew she had more information.
Mhm.
Because that and the cane were the only two things they were trying to find. The
Mhm.
chest and the cane.
But
Slitter's
also,
cane
like,
and the chest.
the fact that the concept of hope chests exists and this like the evil entity, like the very sacred of like everything will come crumbling down was basically a chest, and hope chests are meant to be for the future. As a person who reads a lot of historical fiction and knows the concept of hope chests, it really bothers me. Like the evil crux of it all was a cane and a chest.
Something to help you walk forward and something to help. Yep. Both things
Yep.
that are supposed to carry you into the future. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do
Freaks me
you
out.
see why I loved the literary analysis of this book? I was like, I could feast on this for days. I was like, I could tear this book apart in the best way possible. Like
It'll
I
sustain
could
you.
stand I could stand in a field like Scarlett O'Hara and be like, I'll never go hungry again. Like they're carrots. This book is like a carrot. I'm like, they're like drapes in a house. I'm like, I can make dresses. Like, you don't appreciate my Gone with the Wind quotes? I hate Gone with the Wind. I hate that movie. Yeah, I said it.
It's fine, you don't have to like the movie, you just have to like Rhett Butler.
Oh, I love a man who throws a bitch down the stairs.
When it's deserved.
When deserved. She acting too cunty, throw her down the stairs. Can I say that? No.
She's
Sure, I'll
not
say what I want.
she's acting anything less than Debbie from Addams Family Values, and in the
They
worst
would have loved
way.
it. It's 'cause she hid it.
What?
I agree. I agree with Stephanie from Books in the Freezer. I think that if she had just been outright with them, I think the Addams family would have found people for her to kill,
Right?
and they would have accepted her as she was.
No more Malibu Barbie mishaps.
No, absolutely not.
Or
Absolutely not.
pastels.
But because she was dishonest, I think Morticia could have gotten over the pastels. To be honest, I think Morticia would have been like, I can accept it. It's fine. We don't know whose mother is living in our attic anyways. It's fine. Like she came with the house and like like it's fine. But like it's cause she was dishonest. It's cause she was dishonest.
At some point in this book, I really believed that Celeste was somehow one of the grannies. I don't know how I got that impression.
I have some thoughts about Celeste, and I don't think we've seen the last of her. I
Mhm.
I'm hoping we get a Celeste story in Poorly Made.
Mhm.
Um, I'm really hoping we get a Celeste story in Poorly Made. Um, I have okay, so here we go. I've been waiting to talk about this. I'm very excited to talk about Celeste. I'm very excited to talk about Quinn. My double Q's. Here we go. Okay, so listen up, folks. I've been beating around this bush all night. Take that back. I regret saying that.
Oh my god. This is why we don't let you talk.
This
For
is
long
why
periods of time unchecked.
Why? You know what? Now I understand why people do podcasts, because they're able to just be like, yeah, take that out. This is why y'all come here, folks. Y'all come for the train wrecks and the whatever
This is.
this is.
It's more like an
So-
active plane crash.
Yeah, yeah. There is no Sully on this ship. Anyway, or plane. This is just one long episode of Airplane. Anyways, that's a movie. This is just pretty much the Foo Fighters music video.
Point Celeste. Point Celeste.
Point Celeste. So here we go. Let's go. All right. Oh, I'm so proud. We're doing so good. Okay.
Are we?
No, we are.
Okay.
We are. Because we're doing good.
I love that her name was Celeste. What a power move. What good taste her parents must have had.
Celeste Ichabod. And I don't remember. What was her last name?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, in
I
the
just don't
chat,
know.
does anybody remember Celeste's last name? I found the original quote I was looking for, by the way.
Oh, good.
Now I'm looking to see if I highlighted Celeste's last name. Okay. So, in chapter 4, page 50, yeah, in chapter 4 reels you in, page 50. And if you went and left her behind, that'd be it. This would be over. He'd have a fine time playing professor, and she'd be a crazy, superstitious bitch. And he'd be the one who got to call her that forever. She didn't want it to end that way. So, what if instead they went up to Renfield and had some crazy ass adventure and it bonded them? Or convinced her to finally move on from him? What if this was what she'd been looking for? The point in the road that would topple their relationship one way, ... it is in there, or the other. Point Celeste. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking. Point Celeste is just the spot in the road where she was with her friend and she saw her friend get, like, taken by the random other Celeste. It is. Correct. The friend she can't stop thinking about. And it's not just because of the trauma. No. No, it's not. I'd say totally. However, I have some things to counteract that. Here's the deal. Quinn has some unending drives for Point Celeste. It's not just like a spot on the road. It is Point Celeste is more than just a destination. I think it is. I think Point Celeste is a number on the Kinsey scale.
Yeah, I
Y'all,
wouldn't know. Yeah. Whatever
uh,
number is gay.
whatever number is gay.
I'm sorry.
It's not wrong. It's correct. That is absolutely correct.
I mean, I
Um,
took the Kinsey and I came out with a literal 0. Jokes on them, Amaze, but still.
I mean, hey, look, I'm
You
trying to
forced me to
find.
take the Kinsey scale test. Now that I
Uh,
know it.
but it's always a young woman. We find that men tend to not dig. They don't cope well with mystery. Women will shake their heads and say, "No, I do not accept." But men are more limited in their thinking. They tend to sink. I do love that. I do love that line. So what all connects you? She told the picture in her pocket as she stepped steadily. Every story in this place connects somehow to you. Hold on. There is. So there's a couple of points, and I can't find the exact quote, but there's oh, there it is. Winnie drew a breath through her nose. Well, I don't know anything about it, but I believe it. Did it mean something to you? This woman in the gown? It meant everything, said Quinn. She killed my friend. My friend. But this was only after they're like, they ask her questions about Cam, and she's like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care. No, there's nothing I care enough about." And they're like, "Well, what about this? What about your friend?" And she's like, "Oh,
Very important. Most important person.
that's the whole
MVP.
reason I even came out here." That's the whole reason I even ended up out here is that. Like, it was never Cam. Cam was never the reason this girl
Yep.
came to Edenville, and
And
we all know it.
the fact that she didn't even know really what Cam was to her. Yeah, boyfriend. Yeah, they were in relationship. Yeah, all these things that should mean things, but they don't to Quinn. And she doesn't even know how to refer to him um toward other people. Like all these little ladies are like, and your
My
I
husband,
can't really
my
say boyfriend,
fiance.
fiance.
She's like, I've never liked the word
And
boyfriend. It just feels so. I'm like,
and all these like weird upgrades she would do that never sounded right. Like, girl, the writing is on the wall. The phone is calling in the glass house.
yeah, the call is coming from inside the house. The call is
The
coming from inside
boulder,
the house.
the boulder would be so lucky to hit that house. Your skeletons in your closet would be so thankful to be aired out. Like, ma'am.
There's also, not to mention, she also. Now, do I think she's like gay? No. Do I think she's a 3? Yes. I think she's might be a 3 on the Kinsey scale, which love that for her. Bisexual queen, run with it, holla. Because here's the thing that I really love at the end. Clarity, when she finally like reclaims her voice. Whose voice does she reclaim? She reclaims the voice of a like she Oh god, I love this so much. She doesn't take a girl's voice. She doesn't take a feminine voice. She doesn't take the voice of like a high pitched da 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 da. Like she doesn't find her tongue. She also steals someone else's voice. Like it's hers now, right? Because she can't swap tongues. She can't, and like
Okay, but like real quick, I love how Quinn was like, "Would you like to try another tongue?"
well, that's the thing. Quinn even asked. Quinn was like, would you like us to like swap? Would you like to find another? Like, and she's like, no. Like she doesn't even like it. She's like, just move on. Just I'm just done. Like I'm done with this. Move on. I can learn to go with this.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely, babe. Like perfection. Um Also, that scene at the end, so gay. Loved it so much. There's a couple, like, from the time they were, like, at the end of the house, um, and I'm really mad because I apparently just didn't highlight anything at the end of the book because I was just super focused. I was so into it, but I didn't highlight anything, and I lost my sister. Oh my god, guys, I'm alone, and unsupervised. I wanna do all the swear words because I'm unsupervised.
No. No. Don't you dare.
She's back. Um,
No, my mouse died, and since I have a fancy mouse and it has buttons on the side, I picked it up off of the charger, and lo and behold, to me, whatever it clicked knocked me out. So yeah. Are you still there? Do I still exist?
yeah,
Can
you're
you?
here. You're here. You
Okay.
exist. Um,
Because I am very tired and my head hurts. So I wanted to make sure.
this is so fucking dumb. I love Quinn. Um, I'm probably not making a really good case for this at the moment, and I sound like an idiot, but um, I absolutely loved it. Oh, that's the other part that I forgot is when she talks about Celeste. So there's this point because I got so caught up in clarity, I forgot about Celeste. There's this point where there's a flashback she talks about with Celeste,
Mhm.
and she has this moment of she recalls Celeste and this moment, like this past moment
Mhm.
of were they more than like could they have been more than friends? There was obviously something unspoken that never got to arise or come up or like they never got to speak on anything because the dear woman had taken her from her. So there was never any closure, there was never any answers, there was never any what they could have been. There was none of this. Um so yeah, I think that was like just a really really interesting and beautiful kind of like I just think it was a nice touch. And I also like that Cam died. Um
You just hate that man.
I don't hate him. I actually was kind of sad at first that he died. 'Cause I was like, no.
I'm like, good riddance. It's
Yeah,
sad.
the scene where Celeste is
Uh,
taken over by the deer woman is really creepy. Yeah, there's it. Okay, and I didn't quite. Like I said, I'm really hoping in Poorly Made it's touched on more because I know in like indigenous mythology there
mhm.
is a whole thing about the deer woman. And I don't know like, I don't know if I'm just like imposing. My glasses. I don't know if I'm just imposing this on that
Mhm.
or what. But I know that like she represents, like, I know she's a shapeshifter. Um, I know she represents things like she's often like associated with like fertility and love, and teaches people that like marriage and family like are not things you should like enter into lightly.
Mhm.
Um and that like they're very important within the community, like those relationships are very important within the community. Um but I'm wondering how it would play, because I also know that like in different places some people have seen her like a cryptid.
Mhm.
Oh, bless me. Oof, okay. This is just me being speculative right now at this point. I'm just being speculative. Um, this is absolutely not me. This is something I need to look into, because I think this is very. Thank you, Claudia. That was so sweet. Um,
What a lifetime of putting up with your sneezes.
it's very interesting. I want more. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more. I need to figure some things out. Because
This is the
I have
point that keeps you up at night, huh?
this this spot with Celeste is kind of like a plot hole for me. I keep like circling it and I'm
Mhm.
like, there's gotta be more. And I have a feeling there is. Yeah, the whole book is I want to know more. It is. It is. It absolutely is. And that's such a good thing. Um, it is an absolute good thing. But yeah, it's got me really wondering. When they first come to her, she tries to and slaughters them in an effort to protect the forest. Um, and who are causing harm in one way or another to the rainforest come to her. Ooh! Ooh!
You good?
I need somebody to tell me Clarity's name. Clarity. I need somebody to tell me Celeste's name.
Yeah.
Celeste Ichabod, and I don't remember her last name. But I need somebody to tell me her name. Um, yeah, I need somebody to like control F find in their book. Clarity's Celeste's name. It's Celeste Ichabod something.
Do you not have the Kindle version anymore?
I'm sure I do. I just don't have it right now
Mm.
in front of me because
Mm.
I'm in this stuff. But anyways, well, there's Clarity Mither, but I need Celeste's name because it's Celeste Ichabod something. You know who would know? Maggie, because Maggie just told me that she just read it.
I love Sydney. I know it's not an M name because I looked that up so much. Barton.
Okay.
Says.
That's what I needed to know. I needed to know if it was an M name or not. Okay.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah, I was really
I don't want to rush you, but I am very tired.
No, I am very tired too, which is why I'm getting all kind of like
yeah. I broke
I
out the fidget toy like 15 minutes ago.
Thanks. That would have not have that doesn't help when we're on a thing. Especially when we're at the end. You have the same notes.
Yeah, but I don't know where you're going with majority of the stuff. You're off of my blueprint. We already talked about the blueprint.
Oh my god. I was still talking about Celeste. There does come a point where I'm rambling. You know, I reel us back in. I reel everybody else back in. How come nobody reels me in?
Because we always think you have a point.
Am I just that convincing? Am I that confident?
Yeah. Unless you want me to be mean and just be like, time, let's go. Move.
Guys, that's why I made this today.
It's
Go
time.
Crows. Go Crows. Go Crows. Go Crows. And then what's a murder to some worms anyways, you know? What's a murder to some worms?
Yeah, I know. I try not to give her too much of a hard time about it. That's why I just let her go.
Sometimes my brain just
it stalls. I know.
Two boobs, no brain. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I bamboozled people into giving me a piece of paper that says I have a degree. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's fine. Do we have anything to actually talk about for this slide?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I just, I mean, I did originally, but we kind of talked about it because I didn't know Sam was going to be here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we already talked about it because Sam. What you guys don't know is all of these slides originally said, "Go Crows." All of them, every single one of these slides said "Go Crows" because I had updated our slides this time.
It's the new Wildcats.
Yeah, it's the new Wildcats. What time? What team? Wildcats. What team? Wildcats. Wildcats. Get your head in the game.
Yep.
So now it's Go Crows. Go Crows. Go Crows. Come on, Maryland.
Then he has a spirit.
Do crows eat worms? You know, I don't know if crows eat worms, but you know what I do know crows eat? Sunflower seeds.
Ooh.
Also, if anybody, we don't have to talk about this in this chat. This is like highfalutin stuff. But crows equal Quinn and worms equals McCall. Yes. Yes. Thank you for understanding that reference. This was basically me just being like, this is the end. This was the end. Also, I need everybody to know I actually wrote this. The whole "What's a murder to some worms?" anyways. I wrote that. I think right after the first Jop Yenigan chapter, when I was like, "Oh, interdimensional worm traveling."
So here's the thing. You say interdimensional worm traveling, and Laura said this in the Discord that Jop Yenigan sounds like Zap Brannigan. And so I was like, from that day forward, I always pictured Jop as what's his face. And in Futurama, because I'm a huge Futurama nerd and I project heavily onto it, and it's just one of those shows I always used to watch. I still watch and I will die for. They have interdimensional worms as well from a sandwich that Fry gets from a intergalactic, interdimensional gas station in the sky, the space, that thing. And all I could think about when the worms were mentioned were just Fry's stomach metropolis palace of worms, and they were tapeworms. So I'm just like,
I just realized who I've been seeing Job Yannigan in my head as. And oh my god, this tells me I'm my father's daughter so much. So
oh no,
fucking much.
oh no.
Do you remember the Tick?
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
I have been seeing Job Yannigan as Earthworm Jim.
No. I cannot.
Yes, the playlist for the book is on Discord, and we also have it as a playlist on YouTube.
Yes.
Under
And it's available on Spotify.
Yeah, and it's on Spotify, which we have it on in the Discord. I linked it in the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of them. Are
yeah, I see him as Earthworm Jim. Am I able to do a thing? Can I do this? Hold on.
I
Am
don't
I
know,
able to post a comment? I can't do it. Wait, hold on, maybe. Hold on. Hold on, share screen. Wait, hold on. Wait, we're gonna see if I can do it. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, yes. Okay, hold on. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Select tab to share. This one. Oh god, no. No, no, no. Undo. No. I'm going to show you guys what I think Job Yannigan looks like, and you guys are going to be like, yeah. Window. This one. Okay. Share. Okay. Please pull up my window.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, everyone. This is me and what I think Job Yannigan looks like.
A giant worm.
This is Job Yannigan. In my head, this is how I've been picturing Job Yannigan. This is Earthworm Jim, guys.
I like how there's like this random photoshopped version of the Tick holding Plank. It looks like Plank to me. Probably
yeah, just ignore those. Those aren't important. 6 more images. Yeah, I was like, the Tick cartoon worm, because I couldn't remember Earthworm Jim. I just remembered his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, Earthworm Jim. That's the guy. That's him.
The big bug eyes to match too.
But he serves. I mean, he serves.
Earthworm Jim.
He absolutely serves Job Yannigan vibes. Like, you're gonna look at this and tell me you wouldn't throw this motherfucker down a well a bunch of times?
Are you gonna send this to Sam?
I absolutely am.
My goodness.
I am unhinged. If Sam, if you have not seen this yet, this is coming to your DMs.
Our brother just called me. I'm gonna have to call him back. We gotta wrap this up.
Okay. Oh, are you feeling guilty?
No. He doesn't call me. Meaning he needs someone to bail him out of a situation, probably. And
close window. Okay.
Generally take pity on him. All right, Filmalikes.
Filmalikes.
One's technically not a film.
Triangle. Well, we have the triangle. Well, just screen-alikes or whatever. So we have the triangle, which is what we watched on per Sam's recommendation. He loves his loops, y'all. Loopity loop 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 loop. Now that I have to go back and watch it because I was kind of like in and out of it at the market. But this, I do feel like this pairs very well with Quinn. I do feel like after finishing the book, I'm like, okay, I see why. I see why. And then knowing what I know now about Jeff Yannigan, I'm like, okay, yeah, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I see it.
And if you haven't
And we
seen
have
Gravity Falls, it's on Disney Plus. It is literally just very weird vibes. And, you know, the townsfolk also becoming like not
Yeah, like just
evil.
the more increasingly, yeah, the more you just like increasingly discover and see like the hinges come off and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, things aren't right here.
Mhm.
Things aren't right here. And the more you think like the main character is supposed to be the main character, but really somebody else fights their way to main character status.
Mhm.
Excellent. Excellent. Also, you want weird interdimensional villains, complex villains? Excellent. You want multiple do you need multiple villains?
Gravity
Excellent.
Falls.
The very good. Very good.
My question for you
Um,
though, Kaylee, out of all of this and what I know you know of Gravity Falls, where would the grannies land in Gravity Falls lore to you?
gnomes.
Gnomes? Okay. Okay.
Oh,
I think the ghost people from the convenience store, they were
they may
delightfully
be the
creepy.
ghost people from the convenience store. My husband has been saying he wants to rewatch it, and now I'm getting more and more convinced too. I love Gravity Falls.
It's
Do
always a
Gravity
good
Falls.
time
Watch
to
Gravity Falls.
rewatch.
I need
Always.
to watch Over the Garden Wall. Is what I need to watch. I haven't watched
Do
that. I need
do
to.
it in the fall. Do it in the fall. Otherwise, you're not gonna finish it.
I think it's gonna be my fall
Podalites.
watch. Papa likes. These were my recommendations because these give if you these serve a particular type of like weird town vibe where like so both of these have that like investigative that like someone has gone missing and I miss them. What happened here kind of vibe. Um that's what I plan to watch while I'm in labor. I'm gonna watch it. I promise.
It's
I'm
a
gonna watch
delightful plan, I'm gonna be honest.
it. I love Limetown. I, I love both of these, but Limetown is like Kaylee lore. It is quintessential Kaylee lore. I love it. If you love books like Dead 11 and Edenville, you will love Limetown. I love Limetown. It serves. Um, Baraska, it's a little different. Um, Baraska is very good, but Baraska is slightly different in tone. No, they're both. It's not investigative investigative journalism, but it's still that like weird. What is going on in this town? And where did my friend go? Um, kind of thing. They both. I just feel like they both serve the same kind of like charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent that Edenville did. Neither one of them have like the interdimensional sci-fi element, but the like core still feels the same. So these were our ratings. I gave it a 5. I couldn't I loved this so much. And I'm excited for more. Um, I want more and I'm very excited. Ken's.
So mine's not a perfect 5. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I remember really enjoying Edenville. I listened to it. I finished it on Tuesday, but the only reason why it's a 4.5 is for the life of me, I just can't remember certain things about this book, and it's not for a lack of trying, I'm currently by myself for at least another few weeks. And my mind is just not completely here. So when I was trying to listen to it, try as hard as I might, I had to like replay full chapters and I still couldn't remember anything or really focus. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is something I will definitely have to re-listen to in terms of audiobook because the audiobook slaps so hard. The narrator that they have for the audiobook is amazing and I'm so glad I
He
chose
was
the
good.
audiobook version for it because that man doing like the many different voices of like Quinn, Cam, and especially the little ladies, phenomenal. Chef's kiss. And it's firmly why I still got so much out of Edenville, even though I cannot remember certain things, and that's why I've been kind of like quiet on some things. I cannot, and I just think it's my mental state right now, honestly. Because I know I'm reading Maggie's book and I'm having no problem with it because I'm actually reading it. And just I've had like brain fog and I can tell you certain things about the book and tell you my favorite parts, but there's some stuff I cannot. So I didn't hate it. I know the vibes were good. It was definitely something that I really enjoyed cleaning my house to. And it kept me company when my husband can't. So it's still like a 4.5. And plus there's a lot of analysis that I also did. Not nearly to the extent that Kaylee did, but I got a lot out of it. That's why I think it's not like a 4, but it's not quite a 5. I just can't remember certain things. But I feel like once I go back and revisit it, especially around February, um, I think my rating might go higher once I'm in a better state of mind.
That's fair. That's fair.
And Laura
And then
couldn't join
Laura,
us tonight. So her rating is 3.75, and I feel like her reasons were more along the lines of she hated Cam and she had a really difficult time trying to get into the book. And as far as I'm aware, she was reading it and not audiobooking. So
also, she has a hard time with spiders. She's got a really hard time with spiders. Like she is our Ronald Weasley. Spiders are a no for her, dog.
yeah.
She probably like docked a star for spiders alone. She was like, "Oh no, there's spiders in this."
I briefly thought about torturing our brother for his birthday and sending him the UK copy of Edenville and asking him to join our read along. This man has always been terrified of spiders firmly because of the movie Eight-Legged Freaks. I am a person who does do gag gifts, but only when I feel like they will definitely be appreciated. So for like I think Kaylee's high school graduation, I think I ended up actually getting her Rick Astley's record with Never Gonna Give You Up on it.
This did happen. I did receive that. I did.
Yep, in 2013.
All right. So, was that it on the slide?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, closing statements. We've got dates on the horizon. We will have submissions for October's cryptic theme in the Discord. Those of you who are in the Discord, please go to the thread that is book suggestions for monthly
Book picks or something. I forgot what I titled it.
It's very long. It's book suggestions for monthly. It's probably monthly reads.
Probably.
But it's book suggestion. We need to do it as like.
I need to shorten the title. It's fine.
Yeah,
I know.
But whatever that is, you can submit theme requests. Like if you have an idea for a theme and some books, please go ahead. Our last 2 months have actually been pretty much fully by you guys. We did spooky cinema last month and for next month. We did spooky cinema for next month. And this month was Back to Ghoul. I like to title them because I think it's fun. I like a good pun. But you guys came up with the back to school theme. You guys came up with like the cinema theme, and y'all suggested Ring. Y'all suggested Edenville. Oh God, balloons. Y'all suggested Edenville. Y'all suggested we had Ryan who suggested one of his books. We had, which he also has a book coming out too. You guys can definitely hit up in the he has a self-published book coming out. So if you guys are interested about his book, he has another one coming out. Definitely hit him up about that in the Discord.
Horror movie was our third on that
Horror
one.
movie. But yeah, when you guys participate and add suggestions of things that you guys want to read, we really have good turnout. And we really get some good ideas going, and it makes things a lot easier for us, or us. I'm not sure which way it is. I'm not sure which way it is, but we get really good suggestions. And when you guys are invested and we're reading things that you guys want to read, that's what we want to make sure. So give us some theme suggestions, give us some books you guys are excited for, or would like to read. I know we're working on a Candy Cane Kills read along, because because December we will be doing Candy Cane Kills again. I'm letting everybody know well in advance, so that way you guys can purchase your copies from Shortwave, or ask your libraries to purchase copies, do what you need to do. But it is August 29th. That will be the December book, is Candy Cane Kills again. Okay? So, you have September, October, November to do what you need to do. You have 3 months of knowledge to make sure you're ready for the December pick. Okay? Okay. Our book vote date. So, in the past, we have done book voting has been open for 2 weeks. This time around, we're going to keep it open for only 1 week. But it's going to be the second week. We tried that the last 2 times, and it's worked out really, really well. We leave the first week open for us to let you guys put suggestions in, us to be able to create graphics, and then y'all vote, and it goes. It's been going really well. So we're going to leave that. So that will be the 9th to the 15th of September. We are also going to be doing a special little 1-year anniversary event, because September, guys, we've been doing this a whole year. I'm so excited. And it's been so much fun. We will be doing a 1-year Discord hang event. So at that 1-year Discord hang event, we will announce the giveaway winner, who will be winning a Crash Boom Bang. They will be winning a super cute, super cute little Gobby and Ghoulie. It's really cute, I promise.
Real.
Cute little babies. A little cool ghoul friendship bracelet. And then a little print as well.
You still need to send me mine.
I know, I still have yours. But we have those. Oh, and the $30 gift card for oh my God.
Bookshop.org.
bookshop.org. There we go. Because we wanted to support indie bookstores. I was like, what is the gift card for? I knew book and .org, and I couldn't remember the middle word.
Bookshop.org.
We have that. Bookshop.org. Other than that, the last thing we have. Oh, so if you guys can let us know, we want to do that probably the first week of September. So if you guys can let us know if you'd be down to hang, what day would be good that first week. If you guys want to do it on a weekend or a weeknight, let us know. We would love to do it with you guys because we miss y'all, and it'd be nice if we could do like a little Discord chat and hang out for a little bit.
And reminisce and talk about like what things you want to see from us in the future. What did you like that we did with them this past year? You know,
what was your favorite book? Like, it
Mhm.
would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
We're always open to trying new things.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to eat sushi, but we're always open to try new things.
And then we also have, and then the last thing is, if you haven't seen yet, next month's book is going to be Koji Suzuki's Ring. The cover for that is very fun. The description: a mysterious videotape warns that the viewer will die in 1 week unless a certain unspecified act is performed. Exactly 1 week after watching the tape, 4 teenagers die one after another of heart failure. Asakawa, a hardworking journalist, is intrigued by his niece's inexplicable death. His investigation leads him from a metropolitan Tokyo teeming with modern society's fears to a rural Japan mountain resort, a volcanic island, and a countryside clinic haunted by the past. His attempt to solve the tape's mystery before it's too late for everyone assumes an increasingly deadly urgency. Ring is a chillingly told horror story, a masterfully suspenseful mystery, and a postmodern trip. Now's the time, Claudia. Now is the time.
I love how, based off of the synopsis alone for The Ring, and I know The Ring already has its iconic adaptation, but like based off of the synopsis, it's giving Stay Alive and Death Note, but in combination.
All I'm seeing when I'm looking at this is I'm like, oh, weird. We replaced it with a woman in the movie? That's so bizarre. Why would we do that? So weird. But yeah, other than that.
Oh, and I will say for The Ring, because I did look on Libby, as far as I can tell, it's not available for audio or digital ebook.
Yeah, we might have to find.
We have to double check like Everand and Hoopla and all those others.
You might want to check Barnes and Noble, because I think Laura was saying something about how it was on a buy one get one 50% off sale. So you might want to take a look. But yeah.
I don't live near Barnes and Noble, so that doesn't work for me. I'm gonna have to buy an ebook copy off of the Amazon.
I'm so sorry.
It's
I'm telling the people on the crypt. But yeah, other than that, that's it, folks. Dun, 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 dun,
hey. We're gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for joining us and getting really excited to see Sam and ask him your questions. It meant the world that you guys were so excited for that. And it honestly, we love it when an author wants to come into the space and hang out. So that meant so much.
All right, y'all. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
It's been fun. We'd like fade out music, like.